Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests. What a great day it is to be here with this very, very important signature Chicago Bar Association event. I'm John Shikoda. I'm honored to be your Chicago Bar Association president this year. This is particularly a very important meeting for the Chicago Bar Association every year. And in particular, it's important to me because I attended the first, yes, I was a lawyer back in 1990. I attended the first Dickerson Award at the request of my late great friend, past Chicago Bar Association President Don Hubert. Let's give him a round of applause. Don Hubert was a great man. When Mayor Harold Washington in 1990 was posthumously honored as our first Dickerson Award recipient. What's also more important, I think, is that Chester Blair, the late, great Chester Blair. Let's give him a round of applause. Our first black Chicago Bar Association president in 1989-90 was president then when the Dickerson Award was first bestowed. It's an honor for me to welcome you this year to the celebration of the Earl Burris Dickerson Awards. Mr. Dickerson was an outstanding lawyer, and in 1945 was among the first African Americans to become a member of our Chicago Bar Association. And boy, so many others have followed him that have served with great distinction and honor. And some of them are some of my closest and best friends through the years, including Don Hubert. The Dickerson Award was established by the CBA in 1990 and honors lawyers and judges whose career at the bar emulates the courage and dedication of Earl Burris Dickerson in making the law the key to justice for all in our society. I'm even more touched today because Judge Fred Bates and I share Creighton University lineage, and we attended there together. Not at the same time, mind you. He at law school, and of course, me undergraduate, and but for that, I would have not met my beloved wife, Esther, that will be 40 years this year. So thanks to Creighton and to Omaha. I know Judge Bates feels the same fondness that I do. How can I say anything more about Judge Judy Rice? Who, by the way, is the presiding judge of the domestic violence court that the Chicago Bar Association was really the trendsetter in making that a reality, and thanks to Judge Evans, Chief Judge Evans, and everyone else. And because of you, Judge, because of our historic domestic violence summit that we had last October, we have revived the CBA's Domestic Violence Committee, and I'm proud, as you well, those that know me well, domestic violence is very personal to me, and I'm proud to be the co-chair this year as a child of domestic violence. John Fairman, you're lucky enough to work with Carrie Kennedy, my dear friend for forever. We grew up together in the 36th Ward, and our mentor is former Alderman William J.P. Banks. And I'm just really proud to see how your career has just flourished, John, and this is so well-deserved. And what can I say about Maggie Mendenhall Casey? To be honest with you, when you get to somebody like my age, to see somebody young flourish and just blossom like Maggie's career has done, is just tremendously rewarding. So Maggie, we're all so proud of you, and we admire all of the great things you've done and what you will continue to do. And of course, Ron Austin, who's our former board member and Officer Maurice Grant's partner. You're with a great guy in Maurice Grant, and if you're his partner, then you're at the top of the list as well. And Amy Wynne. Amy? Thanks for all you do. You will hear even more about this year's distinguished honorees from the Dickerson Committee Chair, all of our friend, past CBA President, Dickerson Award Committee Chair, Stevens Award Committee member, the presiding judge of the First Municipal District since, I think, 2000 or so. And the greatest thing I think about Judge Wright, there's a lot of great things that people could say about Judge Wright, but I think one of the greatest things about Judge Wright is that he's really mentored scores of judges and lawyers throughout his career. Let's give him a big round of applause. I'm pleased to turn the microphone over to the presiding judge of the First Municipal District, the Honorable E. Kenneth Wright, Jr., our friend.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Afternoon. I have a meeting at 1 o'clock. Judge Evans has a meeting at 1 o'clock, and those of you who have jobs you have to go to, 1:30, you have to get back. If you notice one thing, and those of you who attended this meeting, award luncheon in the past, you will notice 2 years ago, Judge Evans set two seats from me to make sure that I would know that it's time to leave by pulling my coat. On last year, he said,
I just have one thing to say, and I forgot to say this, but will all of the officers and directors and board of managers of our Chicago Bar Association please stand and be recognized? Sorry.
the president got this off on the wrong foot. So we forgot to mention all of you, elected officials, Supreme Court people, justices, the appellate court people, circuit court judges, the public, lawyers, the different bar associations. All of you are welcome here. We're glad you're here. And I won't name them all. I thought the president was doing that, so I won't name them all. He got started and kept going. That's one of the attributes of a good president. He knows to keep talking. But as I was saying before he interrupted me, is that two years ago, Judge Evans set two doors from me on this side to make sure he was close enough to me to make sure we didn't go over time. And if you notice, he's one person from me this time. He's getting closer to me. We have some fine people here, and I don't want to renew everything he said about Mr. Dickerson. Those of you, if they're in front of you in the program, can read it. Everybody here has one degree or another, so you can read, and you can read it yourself, and I'm pleased about that we all can read. Secondly, I want to make sure that everybody here feel right at home. And as I said, we have a meeting. We have to get back to Commissioner Suffredin, who's here. As I said, Judge Evans, no, I don't think she's in our meeting. The Supreme Court meeting we have this afternoon started this morning. I broke and came here, and we're back. The first recipient we have is the Honorable Ronald Austin, Jr., Grant Austin, LLC. Ronald Austin is a principal partner with Grant Austin, LLC, practicing corporate law, healthcare law, products liability litigation, employment law. He earned his bachelor's degree in business administration from FAMU, as some would call it, Florida A&M, and his law degree from University of Illinois College of Law. He represents and advises Fortune 500 companies, startup companies, healthcare organizations, as well as manufacturing and product liability litigation. He is the investigation chair for the Chicago Bar Association Judicial Evaluation Committee and is on the board of directors for the Illinois Association Healthcare Attorneys. Ronald also is chairman of the PCC Community Wellness Center and PCC Foundation. Mr. Austin has also been recognized by the Illinois Super Lawyers magazine every year since 2019 for his achievements in business litigation. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Ronald Austin.
I have so many people to thank, but first, all glory goes to God. Without him, none of this would be possible. To Judge Wright, thank you for nominating me, and to the committee for selecting me to receive the Earl B. Dickerson Award. I read Earl Dickerson's biography several years ago, and I am amazed by all he accomplished. I am humbled to have my name associated with his. To my beautiful wife, Dr. Tanya Austin, your love and support for me and our girls, Dominique and Gabrielle, have taught me so much. The Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Well, I found my good thing, and I have been favored. To my mom, Reverend Verlea Austin, and my dad, Ronald Austin, you both sacrificed so much for me and my brother, Bryant. For 20 plus years, Mom worked as a teacher in the Chicago public school system. She understood the importance of a good education. My parents sent me to the best schools, including St. Ignatius College Prep and Florida A&M University. Growing up, Mom always said, never let anything interfere with your education. See, Mom, I was listening. Dad not only gave me his name, he also gave me his work ethic. Dad worked as an engineer, designing tools for the manufacturing and construction industries. Dad was good at taking things apart and usually putting them back together. From him, I developed a curiosity for how things work. Mom, Dad, thank you. My first law firm job was at Brothers & Thompson PC, and I credit Hubert Thompson for teaching me how to practice law. He always stressed the importance of knowing the rules and writing in a clear and concise manner. I appreciate Allen Brothers for guiding me through my first trial, which I won after we appealed. I am grateful for their training. In 2015, I joined forces with my law partner, Maurice Grant. Maurice has turned business development into an art form. It is a joy to work with him as we grow our firm and set the standard in excellence. I have dozens of other mentors in my life, and I would not be where I am today without them. It is important that we share our knowledge with others. As Dr. Miles Monroe puts it, mentoring is the way we pass information on to the next generation. If everything you know dies with you, you have become a generational thief. I consider it a privilege whenever I can share my knowledge with someone else. I hope everyone adopts that mindset. Thank you again for this wonderful honor. I truly appreciate it.
Our next recipient is the Honorable Fredrick H. Bates. Judge Bates is an associate judge in the Circuit Court of Cook County, serving in the 6th Municipal District. Judge Bates obtained his JD from Creighton University School of Law and clerked for the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit before serving as an associate judge. Judge Bates was an administrative law judge, as well as a general counsel for the Henry Booth House and president of Bates Legal Group. He's a past president of the Cook County Bar Association and was inducted into the Cook County Bar Association Hall of Fame in 2024. Judge Bates has served as chairperson on committees with Chicago Bar Association, American Bar Association, and the Chicago Chicago committees on minority and large law firms. He runs sports program for the at-risk youth and in Chicago area and served on over 20 nonprofit boards. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Judge Fredrick Bates.
I am humbled and honored to have been selected for this prestigious award. I sincerely appreciate the Chicago Bar Association for bestowing this award on me. I congratulate the other very worthy award recipients. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me.
The Honorable Maggie Mendenhall Casey is our next recipient. Maggie is serving as Deputy Corporation Counsel of the Torts Division for the City of Chicago. She earned a BA degree in history from Barnard College, then obtained a JD from Loyola University of Chicago. Ms. Casey worked as an assistant state's attorney for Cook County for 6 years before working her way up from prosecuting misdemeanors, traffic violation, working on felony trial division within the city of Chicago. She has served on several posts, including supervising assistant corporation counsels, general counsel for the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. As deputy corporation counsel of the tort division, Maggie has dealt with all kinds of problems: city medical malpractice, tort defenses, insurance, and coverage portfolio. She serves on the board of managers of the Chicago Bar Association. She earned the Milton Gray Award in 2022 for outstanding project leadership. She has also been recognized by the Chicago Daily Law Bulletin as one of the 24 under 40 attorneys. And she received the Net Generation Award from the Cook County Bar Association for her work in the profession and the Chicago community. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Maggie Mendenhall Casey.
Thank you to Judge Wright and the Chicago Bar Association. I am truly humbled to be a recipient of the Earl B. Dickerson Award. To be mentioned amongst past Dickerson recipients, such as Mayor Lightfoot, Mayor Washington, and Justice Thurgood Marshall, is truly an unparalleled recognition. Like Dickerson, my grandmother migrated from Mississippi to Chicago during the Great Migration, a mass movement of African Americans fleeing racism and seeking economic opportunity. Dickerson was the first Black person to graduate from the University of Chicago Law School. Like Dickerson, my grandmother took advantage of opportunities in the North. Opportunities that allowed my uncle, Sam Mendenhall, to become a partner at Winston & Strawn. Opportunities that allowed me to lead the City of Chicago's personal injury practice. Earl Dickerson was among the first Black members of the Chicago Bar Association, upon joining, Dickerson claimed all of the privileges of membership and welcomed Norman Manley, the Prime Minister of Jamaica, to dine at the CBA. In opening the CBA to Black membership, he not only forged a new path for himself, but also ensured those behind him could follow. Earl Dickerson was a proud public servant who worked as an assistant corporation counsel and later alderman of the 2nd Ward. As an assistant corporation counsel, Dickerson wrote appellate briefs, a strength that would later serve Dickerson when he successfully advocated for the end of racially restrictive covenants in front of the United States Supreme Court. Dickerson was a fighter. When he attended a banquet in the Corporation Counsel's honor, but was forced to sit separately from his white colleagues, he left in disgust. He persevered in his role as an assistant corporation counsel, and his fighting spirit and reputation for excellence created a pathway to success for others. A pathway for Corporation Counsel Mary Richardson Lowry. A pathway for me as a deputy corporation counsel to ensure my team of 45 employees reflects the diversity of Chicago. Thank you to my husband, Matt Casey, and my sister, Anastasia Myatt, for your endless support. Thank you to my mentors whose shoulders I stand on. And thank you to the Chicago Bar Association.
The Honorable John A. Fairman. Judge Fairman is an associate judge from the Circuit Court of Cook County, serving in the 5th Municipal District. I saw Kerry Kennedy someplace around with his chest out. He earned his bachelor's degree in finance from Howard University and went on to complete his Juris Doctorate at Texas Southern University, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. He served as an assistant state's attorney for 4 years before going in to be managing partner at Fairman Law Offices and then senior partner at Lee and Fairman LLP. In 2021, he was appointed by the Illinois Supreme Court to serve on the ARDC Review Board Association as well as National Black Prosecutors Association. He also has served on the board of directors for Illinois Drug Policy Coalition, the Illinois One Family, One Child, I don't know how many that is, and the Southwest Bar Association. Judge Fairman has received the Distinguished President's Award from the Cook County Bar Association and was previously named Executive Board Member of the Year by the National Black Prosecutors Association. And ladies and gentlemen, before I present him to you, I want to mention that we have in the house, and everybody should be afraid, we have the director of the ARDC somewhere. We've been on making sure education is her foundation, education. Leah Gutierrez, thank you. Then I present to you John A. Fairman.
Let me first thank the Chicago Bar Association, its leaders, members of this organization. In 2004, the first Bar Association event that I ever attended was held by the Chicago Bar Association. And it was there that I met my good friend, Supreme Court Justice Joy V. Cunningham, who was then the incoming president to the Chicago Bar Association, as the first Black female president of the Chicago Bar Association. And so for me to receive this prestigious Earl B. Dickerson Award, someone who helped integrate the Chicago Bar Association, but was also a past president of the Cook County Bar Association, for me is a great honor. I've been blessed that here in Chicago, here in Cook County, we have some of the most talented and most diverse group of judges in the entire country. And I have been honored to work alongside them every single day throughout my judicial career. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank a few people who helped me through my legal career. And let me say by thanking the late Supreme Court Justice Charles Friedman, Chief Judge Timothy Evans, who both at a early age as a young lawyer assigned me to several different committees, several different tasks. To you, let me say thank you, but also to retired Judge Paul Biebel and the late Earl Strayhorn, who brought me and recruited me to Chicago, mentored me throughout that entire time. And then also to my friends, Judge Tommy Brewer, retired judges Chris Lawler, Jimmy O'Hara, Justice Marcus Salone. To all of you, let me say thank you. For those of you who know me, I am passionate about two things, physical, mental health. Physical health, we just started a judicial running club that's about 25 members, looking at moving that to statewide. And let me just say, for the folks, the judges who are here in the room, who are watching this, after this event, when I come walking over here to sign you up, don't run from me. And mental health, for me, it's personal. My son has autism, and we have 6 mental health awareness summits throughout the entire county, the first one being on May 1st over at the Markham Courthouse. To me, service has always been a way of life. Too much is given, much is required. So again, to the Chicago Bar Association, may God continue to bless this organization and its members. Thank you.
The Honorable Judith C. Rice. Judge Rice is the presiding judge of the Domestic Violence Division of Circuit Court of Cook County, sharing her JD from the John Marshall Law School, and began her legal career as a prosecutor in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. She then moved to serve as the City of Chicago Director of Department of Revenue. She was the first female commissioner to lead the city's Department of Water and Department of Transportation, then was appointed Chicago City Treasurer in 2000. In the private sector, Judith Rice was the Senior Vice President and Head of Community Affairs and Economic Development for BMO Harris Bank. In her role as acting presiding judge and then presiding judge of the Domestic Relations Division, Judge Rice has prioritized expanding litigants' access to and the service of that division. Recently, she was awarded the Honorable Charles E. Freeman Judicial Merit Award by the Decalogue Society of Lawyers, as well as the Pride Community Service Award for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Honorable Judith C. Rice.
It's with deep honor and gratitude that I accept this award today. I'd like to thank the Chicago Bar Association and its members for celebrating Earl B. Dickerson's remarkable contributions to the legal profession and to our community. I'd also like to take a moment to thank CBA President John Shikata for recognizing domestic violence as an issue that touches not only the impacted survivor, but our communities and society as a whole. With an appreciation for the role that the legal community can play in supporting survivors and advocating for change, John organized the CBA's first ever Domestic Violence Summit in October of last year. It was a beautiful and inspiring event that brought together stakeholders from a variety of disciplines with a common goal, exploring improved ways to combat intrafamily violence. Many of our judges in domestic violence court participated in the summit, and I want to thank each of them for their hard work and dedication to our litigants. I'm particularly proud and humbled by this recognition, as it's in honor of the late Earl B. Dickerson, an exceptional lawyer and among the CBA's first African-American members. As a lawyer, Earl was a powerful voice for freedom and equality, fighting racial discrimination and segregation in employment, education, and housing. Most notably, he successfully argued before the U.S. Supreme Court in the pivotal case of Hansberry versus Lee, 1940, in which the court struck down racially restrictive covenants in Chicago's Woodlawn neighborhood. Our judiciary serves to uphold our laws, to ensure procedural fairness, and to protect the legal rights of its constituents. And with that privilege, I believe it's important that the judiciary reflect the diversity of each community it serves. To quote our newest U.S. Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, I am also ever buoyed by the leadership of generations past who helped light the way. Dr. Martin Luther King, Justice Thurgood Marshall, and my personal heroine, Judge Constance Baker Motley. They and so many others did the heavy lifting that made this day possible.
Our next recipient is the Honorable Amy Wynne. Of Morgan Lewis. Amy and I met along with the Honorable Tomasic and Coden in the lobby of Chase Bank when we were interviewing her to become a member of the board of Lawyers Lenderhand. And she is now, as I understand it, still remaining on the Lawyers Lenderhand board. Tim Tomasic was becoming chairman or president of the Lawyers Lenderhand at that time, and I was moving off. Dan Coden Dan Cotter, had been president for some time. Amy Wynne was working for Sidley at that time. Now she's a labor and employment partner at Chicago office, managing partner with Morgan Lewis. She earned her bachelor's degree in economics and Juris Doctorate from Harvard University. Before starting her legal career working at Sidley & Austin, first as labor and employment associate, then as a partner. With Sidley & Austin, then Morgan Lewis, Ms. Wynne has focused on defending employers, conducting internal investigation, and strategic employment. She dealt with class claims under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Americans with Disabilities Act and Dodd-Frank. Amy was recognized by the Crane Chicago Business as on its list of notable women law in 2022 and by the best lawyers in America in the field of employment law management for 7 years in the last decade. Amy Wynne has also been on the board member for Lawyers Lenderhand since 2013, Mr. Tomasic, 2013. And as well as being a member of the Economic Club of Chicago. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Amy Wynne.
Thank you. I am so honored to receive the Earl B. Dickerson Award this year. Mr. Dickerson's career was marked by his unwavering commitment to justice and his outstanding contributions to advance civil rights and equality in Chicago and across the United States. I've been reflecting in awe on all the big things Mr. Dickerson accomplished, instances where he was the first Black lawyer to fill in any number of blanks, a U.S. Supreme Court practitioner, and a leader of numerous impactful organizations in our community. And I remind myself that even though the spaces where I can make a difference may feel very different from his, I still can use my platform to try to move the needle in a positive direction. A lot of my work as an employment lawyer focuses on helping organizations assess their workplace culture, developing diversity initiatives, and advising them on strategies for maintaining respectful and inclusive work environments. The general premise is that we all can benefit when people are valued and respected, not only for the ways our backgrounds and perspectives are similar, but as importantly, for the ways they are different. These same principles hold true for our profession. For those of us who have been committed to leading efforts to advance diversity and empower others to succeed in the profession, whether in a law firm, the courtroom, or even the boardroom, yes, we have made significant strides in many respects. But in recent weeks, we have been reminded of the increasing challenges we face in creating equal opportunity and protecting the civil rights many of us here today and so many before us have championed. We have been reminded of the need to speak up in defense of those rights and privileges diligently secured for ourselves and others. My hope is we remain optimistic and persevere and that through respectful dialogue, continued commitment, and thoughtful strategic action, we can continue to build on the great legacy of Earl B. Dickerson. Thank you to the Chicago Bar Association for this amazing award, and congratulations to all the other honorees today. It truly is an honor.
It's time for me, the Chicago Bar Association and the Chicago Bar Association's family. My family have been my family for a lot of years. And I've met many great friends throughout this tenure of being Bar Association. Judge Evans has been my sole support. He has allowed me to participate in whatever organizations that benefit the courts and the bars throughout the state of Illinois and beyond. He's always okayed whatever it is I did. One of his presiding judges used to, when I became president of Chicago Bar Association, would telephone me every day at about 5 minutes to 9 o'clock to make sure that I was at my job. Instead of my answering the telephone, I'd have Stacy hold on, and I would walk up to that person's office so she could see me rather than wondering whether I was on a cell phone or someplace talking to her. That lasted for a while. I met a justice of the appellate court, Justice Glenn T. Johnson, when I was a dean of Joliet Junior College. He encouraged me to go to law school at the time I did. I was intending to go, but probably would not have gone at that time. He gave me 2 pieces of advice, and both I adhere to today. One was he asked me about my clothing the day I saw him. He took me to lunch, and I had on a shirt, tie, but no jacket. He asked me about my jacket, and I said I had left it in the car because it was a warm day. He was taking me to the Metropolitan Club for lunch. He said lawyers never get too warm that they take off their jackets. And to those of you who have known me for years have never seen me without my jacket, even during EdCon. And the second advice he gave me was to join the Chicago Bar Association. He said, that's where it's happening. That's what you need to do, and I joined the Chicago Bar Association in 1977, immediately. I believe it's the best place in which a lawyer can participate and learn and cooperate. It was a little different before the pandemic because we met together as individuals prior to that time. I met tremendous people. As I began to go to the Bar Association, I met Kerry Peck. Kerry Peck was instrumental in my participating in a number of committees. And when he became president, he pushed me to participate, and also, as he would say, keep bringing the checks. After I became board of managers, I met Terry Murphy, a great guy, an angel. Anybody who didn't get a chance to work under him while he was executive director missed a lot. We have a great executive director now, but I can only talk about Terry because I was working under Terry. Stood by me and the Bar Association. That was his protection, that was his family. Micah Hyman let me practice being president when he was there. I had a meeting once, and he had a meeting, and he asked me to stand in for him, and Justice McMurray was speaking. And she said, the women are coming. Men better watch out. And when my time came to respond to her, I said, please, Justice, there are some good men. I'm one of them. Don't take everything away from us. People applauded to that. Then Kevin Durkin continued to allow me to practice. Before I was president, at that time, had no thoughts that it was something that I would do. Terry introduced me to Larry Sufferdin, Commissioner Larry Sufferdin at that time, who worked for the Bar Association, who asked me my claim to fame. I had no claim. I had no fame either. I was just trying to work and serve, as my mother taught me, that you serve, that you don't look for awards. And then there was Tim Eaton who said to me, awards aren't always given to you, for you. They're given so people around you can see what can happen if you work and if you participate in bar associations and other community organizations. Then I met Larry Rogers Sr., who maintained and became a great friend to me, mentored me because he had been around the law a lot longer than I had and knew a lot more things than I knew, but I knew a few little things that he didn't know either. But we meshed together and became friends, lifelong friends, until he passed away from his illness. His son has taken over and is doing a great job in whatever we're doing. He's been president of the Cook County Bar Association. When I became president of the Chicago Bar Association, that's where I met people like Ken Osbach, Jack Joseph. If any of you remember those people, they around somewhere. I think Ken Osbach is, but Jack Joseph passed away some time ago. But most importantly, I want to know that Chief Judge Evans and Terry Murphy supported me in everything I did. Maurice Grant followed me from the Chicago Bar Association Board, where I was president, he was on the board, to CCR, and he became a board member of CCR while I was there. There are many people that I can name here in the Bar Association who've been just great friends of mine. And I can't tell you all of the ones, and I don't want to try to name all the ones, but the ones who touched me as I was coming along. But it's time. All good things, as they say, must come to an end. My time has come. I thank the Chicago Bar Association and all the other organizations that I have been part of, but especially the Chicago Bar Association, my home and my family. And those of you who remember or who was around when I was sworn in as president of Chicago Bar Association, I stated loud and clear that this is my family. This is my home. And I want all of you to feel welcome when you come to the Chicago Bar Association. Thank you, Chicago Bar Association. Thank you, leadership. Thank you, Kevin Durkin, and the rest of you. Thank you.
I'm a little choked up here, so forgive me, but I do want to say a couple words. First of all, will all the Chicago Bar Association past presidents and Stevens Award winners stand while I say what I'm going to say, and remain standing. Durkin, get up there. Terry Murphy, you stand too, and Beth McMean, our great executive director, stand. Judge Wright has given his entire life to this Bar Association. He has been there through thick and thin. He has stood by many of us when others would not stand by us. He has been our friend. And as I said before, he has mentored scores of judges and lawyers and just ordinary people. And I just, on behalf of all of our past presidents that are standing, our Stevens Award winners, our board, and to all of us, we stand on your shoulders, Judge Wright. We stood on your shoulders because you've always been there for us, and hopefully I know we have been there for you. And I just want to say, let's give a standing ovation to Judge Wright. Judge, all of your good works, you have honored Justice Glenn T. Johnson and all of those that mentored you. You have honored them with your life and your legal career's commitment to community service, to the bench, and to the bar, and we thank you. Okay, what a Dickerson Award next year, same place, same time, same station. Our meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.